Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from the Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome. Oh, I totally forgot to change that number. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1583. Although it says 2 up there, it's meant to be a 3. I'll change it later. Kicking off December in style. Welcome to December, the most hang on, I'm gonna do sparkles. The most sparkly month of the year. One, it's my birthday, so it makes it extra special, extra sparkly. And number 2, it's the holiday season, so you get all these beautiful lights out there. Some places you've got snow, so that you got that sparkle going on in the snow with the sun on it or the moon on it. Street lights on it, Christmas lights on it, all sorts of things. There's something magical about the month of December, and it is absolutely incredible. I'm already started off the month. I've got my cousin's got a birthday today. Well, actually, it was yesterday in New Zealand. Got a nephew tomorrow. Yeah, we're starting on the Christmas roll, December roll with birthdays and anniversaries, and it's just absolutely magical. And so, how did we start this magical month today? We got up, did our new routine in the morning of having our quiet time, doing some journaling and stuff. And then I had this thought. I thought, what time? And I didn't know that there was a community park here in Surprise that had dog parks. And I happened to find out one day when my dog sitter picked up Zeffie to take her back to her place to look after her for the weekend. And she said, "Oh, do you mind if we stop off at the park?" I said, "No, not a problem." I said, "You know how to handle Zeffie. I mean, and she works well with you on the leash. It's not a problem." And so she sent me these pictures from the park, and I go, "What park are you at?" I said, "It's gorgeous." She said, "Oh, it's Surprise Community Park." So I get online and I Google the map, bring it up, and oh my gosh, they got dog parks. I go, "They got dog parks?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." She says, "But they're closed right now until I couldn't remember the date that she told me, because she said they're reseeding them." I was like, "Oh, okay." And so this morning I just had this sudden thought, inspiration, let's go to the dog park. And so Zeffie was in here sleeping because it was just too early for her. So we got everything organized. We went off to found the dog park pretty easily. And even through all the school traffic that was going on at that time of the day. So I've got to remember that school traffic's around at that time, to make it a little earlier. But the park opens at 6 o'clock in the morning and closes at 10 p.m. at night. So I'm like, yes. And it only takes us it took us a little longer this morning because I did take a wrong turn. But it's only about a 10 to 12 minute drive from my place. So I'm just like, yes. And we got in there. We were there for almost an hour, and Neffy was basically running almost that entire time. The only time she stopped was to get a drink of water. And then towards the end, when I knew she was getting tired, she would just walk around, and then she'd just flop on the ground. And this one lady watched her do that, and she just starts laughing because Zeffie's just walking along, and the next minute she's on the ground. But there was a Basset Hound when we got in there named George, and he was adorable. He was just adorable. But he was baying as we walked up and all that. So they sniffed through the fence as we walked around to the gate. Then a lady came in with a little black dog. And this other lady came in, and she had this terrier, and I thought, is that a Cairn terrier? And so I asked her, and she says, "No, it's a Norwich." And I'm like, oh, because I like the Norwich Terriers and the Cairn Terriers. I think they're really cute. And way back machine before we got Gus, we were looking through different an encyclopedia of different dog breeds and working out what sort of dog we wouldn't mind for our next dog. And this was before we got Gus. And and Norwich was on the list, along with a Cairn Terrier. And so Zeffie and Archie was the dog's name. The dog's name was Archie. So Archie and Zeffie just ran like crazy together around the park. And because of the size difference, Zeffie would sort of like run slightly in front of Archie, but with her nose, so her top part of her body was turned, and she's like running. She's just like running straight ahead, and her head is turned, and they're almost nose to nose as they're running along. It was the funniest thing to see. And then at one point they were just barreling along, and the next thing I know is that I had Zeffie slammed into me with the side of her body right on my shins. Fortunately, when I'm in a dog park, I have hyperextension on my knees, and so I try to keep my knees more straight, so I have that flexibility if dogs bag into you. And I do that a lot when I'm on cruise ships as well. I don't lock my legs because if you're on a ship that's going like this, leg locking is not going to work. It just helps you keep in flow with riding the waves and things. And so she just slammed into me, picks herself up, and boom, the two of them were off again like nothing happened. I haven't looked at my shins to see how they are. They are a little sore. But it also rained overnight as well, so everything was wet, which was great. So we got back in the car, I cleaned off her paws. She was not happy about that. But then we came home, and she has basically been on that chair the entire day. We got home, she went and had a drink of water, and she'd been drinking water throughout the whole thing, and ate a little bit, and then just walked into the office and got up on the chair and stayed there for the rest of the morning. The only time she got off that chair this morning was when I was having lunch. And then as soon as I was finished with lunch, she was back on that chair again. And when I get up and I call it a shake break, where I go and make a smoothie and in the afternoon. And she wouldn't, and she normally comes out and I let her outside out back. Wasn't interested. She just stayed there. And the only time she got off there was when we went for our walk tonight. And our walk was very calm, very smooth. And there's a twinge in my back now from that. So she was very, very calm and not pulling on her leash. She was actually walking really well on her leash because of the excess energy she had. I was thinking of going back to the park, but then I remembered that tonight and tomorrow night from 5 to 9, they have this Festival of the Lights type thing. And they're actually doing a Festival of the Lights, and it's all done with drones. So it's like we're going to a fireworks display, but it's all done with drones with their lights and their layouts and all of that sort of thing. I thought that would be so cool to see. But I just don't want to deal with the crowds. I'm exhausted from the park this morning. So, and I was awake at 4:30 this morning. And so I was exhausted from the park, but we had a really good start to the day. And then once breakfast was on, the rest of the day was just slammed. So I'm behind on getting my newsletter out right now. I'm working on my newsletter, and it will be going out tonight, even if it's at midnight. I'm determined to get out tonight. And if I can't stay awake long enough to do that, then it'll be in the morning before I get on my mastermind call. But yeah, I got to get working on that. But tonight we are kicking off the month of December in style with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation that came out in 1989. I know that was a few years ago. But I love this movie. I remember seeing it in the movie theater with friends, and we just had such a blast with that movie. And it's just a classic. There's just people go, oh, but it's so dated. No, it's not. The storyline, the humor, the antics are just fantastic, and it's something that's always been around. And that's one I use to kick off the Christmas season for me. It's how I get into the holiday spirit, is watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And when Brad was alive, it was one of the movies that it would be the first Christmas movie we would watch every single year. And then we added in other ones like Love Actually, Christmas with the Cranks, the Santa Claus, Jingle All the Way, Christmas Carol came after him, after he passed, and so did Santa and Pete. And I'm trying to remember the rest of them, but then I thought, hang on, I always post photos of, like I do with James Bond. I always post photos saying, we're starting this. So I always post photos of what I see on the screen and post them up there. So I thought maybe I could just go back and look at last year's one, and then I can fill out my list, because I can't find my holiday list. I looked on the computer, don't find it there. So I obviously didn't type it up, but I'm so looking forward to this one. It just has so many really cool moments. So my question for you is, if you've seen Christmas Vacation, what are your favorite scenes? Because there's never this is one of those movies that you never had just one scene, and that's your absolute favorite. It's like, but Aunt Bethany, that character, she just cracks me up. The things she comes out with. And she didn't want to say grace because Grace had died. So then they wanted to say the blessing. Oh my gosh, she just and then she wrapped a cat up, and then there's the cousin that arrives unexpectedly. There's the yuppie neighbors next door. Why is the carpet wet? They just get the wrong end of, they were just on the wrong end of everything. And Clark Griswold being so determined to have the perfect Christmas. Nothing was going to was going to, it didn't matter what happened, and nothing was going to dim his positive attitude to have a perfect family Christmas. He was determined. So I got to give him props for his determination, A for effort. And that was just absolutely brilliant, lighting up the neighborhood. Oh yeah, when they finally flip the lights on and you see the electrical thing go, and then they're over at the nuclear plant putting on the auxiliary power. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing. Some of my other favorite scenes? Oh, the squirrel in the tree. The squirrel in the tree. Yes. The sled, the round sled that he puts that new coating on that's supposed to be going on cereal. And I'm like, okay, he's come up with this coating that's supposed to go on cereal to leave it crunchier longer, and he's putting it on the bottom of his round sled, and it just shot him off down the hillside and through whatever. And they're putting that on cereal. So I love that scene. Watch him go down and doing the spins and across the road, through traffic, through buildings. Oh, so much fun. It's just a really good movie, and it's one of those movies that I can actually sit back and relax, enjoy. A lot of movies, when I watch them, I'm maybe doing something else like crochet, knitting, something. I'm always doing something with my hands. But National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, for some reason, I can't have anything in my hands when I watch that one. Probably because it's just so much. There's just so much going on in that movie. There's just from start to finish. Then there's at the beginning when he's driving along the road and he pulls out to pass whatever it is he's passing, and he goes underneath a truck. Oh my gosh. I gotta look up and see. I do have the DVD of this somewhere in my DVD box. It's in my DVD folder. But of course, I haven't got the DVD player. So I had to get it from Prime. Unless I did a subscription. I wasn't doing a subscription. No. Maybe this weekend I'll go DVD hunting. Let's see if I can find the DVD Blu-ray, because that would be awesome. Because as soon as I find that, I can get everything hooked up, with the exception of the speakers, because they're on tile and they've got prongs on them to get them into the carpet to help with the sound. We got these speakers, these top of the line speakers, back when we built our movie theater back in Virginia, and they've got these prongs on them, and they stand about this tall. They've got these prongs on the bottom of them that helps them stabilize in the carpet, and it also helps the sound resonation, something to do with the sound vibrations, and that on the speakers that gives you a more of a crystal clear sound. And then they have this really cool subwoofer. It's December. It's a crazy month, I tell you. My brain, I don't know what happens to my brain in December. Somehow I manage to get stuff done, and sometimes I come up with brilliant ideas, but most of the time I'm walking around like, I don't know what's going on. It's just like sparkle month. And the subwoofer's on there, and that's a really good subwoofer, and it has a speaker bar, but I can't hook up the speaker bar without the rest of it. And I've got tile, and you have to actually change out the feet for tile. And somewhere we have the feet. They're in a box, hopefully with the speakers. I'm not sure. But then I can't hook up the rest speakers. But the family room in this house is actually wired for sound, but not in the way you think. They've got the wiring in the wall for you to hook up the speakers, and they've got this area up the front where they have a panel which has all of the little screwy thingies that you use to put speakers on, so you can connect the speakers at this one point, so you're not dragging cables out of the wall to your receiver. And so they have the outlets there where you have to screw the wire in, and then you attach that to your receiver. And then they've got the face plates over the areas for the speakers and stuff, which I think is pretty cool. But my back speakers are up on the ceiling, and I'm like, where they've got them, I'm like, okay, yeah, my speakers ain't going to stay up there, because my speakers are heavy. They're really good. They're good, high quality speakers, and they're very heavy. And so I was sort of like, yeah, they ain't going to get up there. And I ain't going to go and undo that panel to hook the wires up to an extended wire cord to have them down lower. I'm not going to do that. Where I have them like on a table at the back or something like that. Yeah, not going to happen. So I'm going to have to find some other way to get get the surround on the speakers, so I'm not using the TV sound, because the TV sounds, it's okay, but when I was watching the James Bond movies, there was a lot of depth that was missing out of the sound, because it was just using the TV speakers, and it was more of a tinny sound. It didn't have the bass. It was missing bass. It would have been so much better with bass. But one thing, and yeah, and then there was the volume issue that I kept having, because I'd have the volume set so I could hear what they were saying, and all of a sudden they'll get into a gun battle, a car chase, and the volume would go from here to here. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there with the thing with my thumb pressed on the down volume side of it. So yeah, when I get speakers installed, it's going to be able to balance out a lot more. And if I'm using DVDs and Blu-rays rather than the streams, the sound is different as well. So it depends on your method of watching. So anyway, we're going to go kick it off with Christmas vacation. We're going to get the newsletter out. In fact, I'm going to get it out in the next 30 minutes, I think. So if you want to join us on the newsletter, just go to beforedirtnapnewsletter.com. The link is in the description below. The link is going across the screen, and you can sign up for that newsletter. It has in there, it's from the Before the Dirt Nap, which is all about living your best life now. So we have a tip of the week for living your best life now. We've got a tip of the week for genealogy and family history. We have a tip of the week for, what happened to that list? Did I put that on? Oh, yes, I did put that on there. We've got a tip of the week for travel. And then we also do some did you know little facts about New Zealand on there. We may start putting Australia on there soon, but we're doing little bits and pieces about New Zealand. Did you know? So just little fun facts about New Zealand. And we've also got on there, we're starting up a podcast of the week. So each week I'm going to go in and choose one of the podcasts from the week to be our podcast of the week. And this week we're going to be doing the one that we did on Monday with Glendine, which was just an absolutely fabulous podcast that we did with her. So I'm going to put that in as a podcast of the week this week, so you get a chance to listen to that. Let's see what else we've got coming up. Oh, we've got our Shopify stores link is going to go in there. We've got some really cool merchandise, and not Before the Dirt Nap merchandise. This is things. There's a couple of coffee mugs in there. There's some coasters, and the coasters, or there's a series of coasters there, and they all have different. You can either buy them as single, or you can buy them as a set of 4. And each set of coasters has a different mandala on it. So I've got a series of mandalas that are on those. Then I have a whole bunch of spiral notebooks that all have different covers on them. Oh, that reminds me. Just going to write this down to remind me. Because I'm looking for a certain type of notebook. And I have a really cool cover to go on it. And so I'm trying to see if I can find the notebook that I need so that I can put the cover on. So we've got different stuff there. And then we're also going to have a link to the Your Family Tree Detective gift certificates. So there's a 3-hour package, a 5-hour package. And with the packages, you get 1 hour of a discovery call. You then get the 3 to 5 hours of research. And then we do a report up for you. So it's designed. You can even buy it for yourself. Gift it to yourself, or gift it to somebody who's interested in starting their family tree. They don't know where to start. They haven't got the time for it. This is a done for you service. So it's not, they have to go do the research and then give us the research. This is, we do the research for you. We have another program that'll be released in a couple of weeks that will be launching. We're going to do a soft release in December, but the official launch will be in January. And that will be a do-it-yourself service. So kind of let the cat out of the bag on that one. But we will go into more detail on that when we're ready to do the soft launch on it. So that's it from us. We're going to go and get this newsletter out and then settle down and watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's only like about, I think it's a 90-minute movie. I didn't look that up. Hang on. Do I have the page up to how long it is? 97 minutes. So yeah, an hour and a half. So we'll get that knocked out fairly quickly. But we're kicking off December in style with sparkles, lots of sparkles. Should have worn my sparkle shirt. I don't know if I'll take her tomorrow. I might take her on Sunday morning. I don't think I'll do it tomorrow because we've got to be back here to be online by 9 o'clock. So I think we might take her on Sunday morning and just sort of like do every other day at the dog park where she can go burn some energy off, because she'll end up like this for the rest of the day and night. You okay there, Zeph? Hey, sweet girl. You okay? You exhausted? Did you have fun? You get to meet Archie and run around with Archie? And you just talk to her and she has no expression, nothing. Anyway, I'm out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. If you've seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, please put in the comments what your favorite scenes are, because this is one of those movies where you don't just have one favorite scene, because there's just so much that happens in there. But go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, konera.